Hey guys, I'm Leo Mendez and today I have a new video. I got on my mesa de prueba the Argon8 from Modal Electronics, a wavetable synthesizer that is perfect for getting started in the world of digital synthesis. Probably you have heard many times that digital synthesizers are quite cold, but today I want to change that perception and instead of using the word cold, we're going to use the word precise. And precisely, this precision is perfect for sound design. That's why on this video I will focus on the oscillator section from the Argon8. So, if you want to learn more, acompáñenme a ver el siguiente video. Argon8 is an 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer, which has 4 oscillators for each voice. That means we have 32 oscillators at the service of sound design. These 32 oscillators are wavetable. Also, in the Argon8, we have 28 waveform banks that we can modify. Wave 1 and Wave 2 allows us to slide through the harmonic content of the wavetable. So we can sweep from a sine wave, the basis of a digital synthesizer, to a more complex waveform. This function is also found in the wavetable number 2. On the same section, we have the tuning function that allows us to change the pitch to octaves lower or to octaves higher. And here we can start feeling the precision of the oscillators. If we press the shift key while we modify our tuning, we enter to the finer tuning section. With this we can generate small movements and variations in tone, which are pretty important on sound design. This tuning knob is also found in our second wavetable. And now let's talk about the mixed knob. This function allows us to have balance between the harmonic content found in the first wavetable and on the second wavetable. Also, we can mix accordingly to the sound design needs. For example, on the first wavetable, we will use a sawtooth wave, and on the second wavetable, we will use a sine wave. Now let's choose a right balance between the sawtooth and the sine wave. As you can notice, the sine wave on the wavetable number 2 has a lower tone and we can actually get a little bit lower. The next knob is known as a spread. This function adds additional oscillators that increase the tonal content of our synthesizer. On the first portion of the spread, we can elongate the harmonic content of our sound, and once we reach a certain threshold, we can also switch to the thirds, fourths, fifths, octaves, and many more. The last section is known as the modulation of the oscillators, and it's quite interesting. To benefit from this tool, you need to understand that the wavetable number 2 is modulating the wavetable number 1. and this knob controls the amount of this modulation. Usually, the wavetable number 2 is called modulator, and the wavetable number 1 is called carrier. The most interesting thing about all of this is that even with a large filter knob on this side, the fun part of the Argon8 is on the parameters that we can modulate, change, and modify on the oscillator section. And as I said on the beginning of this video, they're quite precise. For example, instead of using the filter to change the harmonic content, we can also do it by mixing the wavetables. So we can switch between a high harmonic content on the wavetable number 1 to a simple harmonic content on the wavetable number 2. In addition, we can also modulate this from the low frequency oscillators. To use the LFO is quite simple. We only need to press the LFO key and select the parameter to modulate. We can also select the modulation depth. In this case, we want a negative modulation. On the ratio knob, we can find the speed of this modulation. Also, if we press the Shift key, we can change the waveform of the LFO. And the best of all is that we're only scratching the surface. We have 28 banks of oscillators, 32 waveform modifiers, and 8 modulators. In other words, there are endless opportunities to generate incredible sound designs. To start a new patch, we have to hold down the init key. Now, on both wavetables, we will have sine waves. First, let's modify the wavetable 1. To do so, we have to choose the Shift key and change the bank with this knob. Let's choose a 4-man wavetable. Now, by moving the wave knob, we can slide through the harmonic content of the 4-man wavetable. The interesting part about 4-man waveform is that it has a harmonic content that resembles vowels. And since we already know how to modulate, we can send a random LFO to this parameter. To do so, we select the LFO key and move our parameter to a fairly wide depth. Now we're gonna press the Shift key and change the waveform to something random. And now we can change the modulation speed with the rate knob. In this new patch, we're going to take advantage from both wavetables. On the first wavetable, let's choose something percussive. And on the second wavetable, let's choose something a little bit more complex. Now let's audition the wavetable number 1 and the wavetable number 2. Together, sound like this. Now let's adjust the content of the wavetable in both oscillators. It's time to add some phase modulation. That means the wavetable number 2 is modulating the wavetable number 1. With this modulation, we can achieve the classic sounds of a clavinet. And the amazing part is that we can modulate the modulation with the LFO number 2. To do so, we need to press the LFO key and set the modulation destination. To have even more fun with this, we can change the mode of our LFO, so its cycle starts once we press a key. And with all of the things learned so far, we can design sounds in a complex way without having to use the envelope, the effects, the sequencers, and anything like that. The real power of the Argon8 lies on the oscillator section, and it's truly fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Yo soy Leo Méndez y nos vemos a la próxima.